Da 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 da. We are live. Hooray. We're live. Hello. Hello, everybody. I'm Amanda Call. This is my stream here on my channel. And we're working on this comic page. This is a page from I Am the First, issue 4, page 8. We've been working on this for a while now. I think this is the 5th stream. I'm not like 100% sure though. Maybe it's less than that. I think it's the 5th. I have a new headset, a new mic, so let me know if you can actually hear me, because hopefully you can hear me, but I don't know if you actually can. So just like make a comment. Let me know. Oh my gosh. Okay, we're gonna finish doing some of this technical stuff back here. So I've got my Royal Talons India ink. And I'm gonna start using my nib pen and hopefully getting all of this tech stuff done so that we can move on to inking with a brush and getting the figures done. That would be nice. Hey, Hungry. Thanks so much for joining me. Hope you're having a good start to your week, good start to your year, all that good stuff. That's good. Oh, thank you for responding to me. I wasn't sure if my new microphone was actually, you know, working. Just kind of talking to myself like, I hope I'm actually having sounds go out into the ether and I'm not just talking to myself here and no one can hear me. Nice. That's good. I literally just got it I got a new headset in the mail because my old one was dying and it just showed up today. I was not expecting it to come yet. And so I basically just like unplugged it and charged it and I went to install the drivers so that I could like, mess with the levels and stuff on it. And the, the headphone manufacturer's website is down for maintenance. So I'm like, okay, I guess I'm just gonna have to roll with the plug and play settings tonight and we'll hopefully figure it out later. Oh well. I'm glad it sounds good. I was being very unprofessional and didn't even like record a little snippet or anything beforehand to check. So but sometimes you're just in a hurry. We are finally done with the holiday break here. Everybody went back to school today. So we're like trying to stagger our way back to normalcy in this household. right. A whole bunch of lines on that pass. That was productive. I was going to do something, and I forget what. Okay, that's fine. We'll come back over here when I can think of it. What do we still need to do down on this one? We need to add the little, this section on the little handset, the radio. I need to work on that grill. Oh, I've got a piece of, let's get that French curve out and get that bit of the back of the, whoop, hang on, going for a ride. Okay, I think a lot of that is going to be more straight lines. So we're going to get some of these straight lines done on this cruiser here. Little stripes on the side of the vehicle. All right, look at all that. Hey, Spud, thanks so much for joining me. I have to clean off my triangle before I make a mess, clean off my pen, try to keep everything from getting all sticky and gross. Hope your week and your year are off to a good start, Spud. Oh, all right, let me flip this around, try to get it. Oh, I'm running into like the edge of my board here. Okay. Now we got to flip this around again. We're starting to get to the point where I have to attack things from a bunch of awkward angles because there's not a lot left that needs to get done like this. Ah. All right, we'll go ahead and do some of these straight lines down here too while we're working in the corner. I'm going to also try not to knock my ink off the edge of my desk because that would be bad. Keep cleaning all the things. All right, let's add some of these details. patches and everything on his uniform while we're right here. These different little buttons and his badge and all that fun stuff. I think, is that all of it? I think that's it. I'm gonna go ahead and finish this line right here. That's a small enough line. I feel like, oops, it wasn't even in frame. Oh my goodness. It's just this right here. I was like, I feel like I can freehand that. Okay, let's get this phone done. Or at least get some progress on this phone. Do some of the wire back here too. I can already hear Jeremy cursing me out for putting any sort of crossed wire on this page. He hates coloring this stuff. Or rather, flatting it. I'm the one who does the final coloring, but he helps me out with the flats. And yes, this stuff is a pain to work with. All right. So let me clean this off before I forget, and then I'm going to add one more little thing to those wires there before we go back up to the top. Also going to clean my pen some more. Hey, someone saying, thanks so much for joining us. Yes, as you can see, I use my my paper towel until there's nothing left. All right, I'm just going to add in these gaps, I'm just going to add this little like bump where they're like crossing over each other. Okay. Okay. Oh, I keep on going too low. Let's see if I can. I think I need to. There we go. That'll get us more in where I'm actually working. Sorry about that. That should be a better angle, so I stop going out of frame on you guys. So we're just going to go back into working on the same thing, but up here. Okay, there's that direction on the wire. I had a thought about what I was going to do next, and then it left. You just love that when you're like, I'm having a thought, and then it just goes, nope, bye. There we go. This one down there. Okay. Let's turn this around again. I'm going to do part of this right here. Some of these tiny little lines, I'm like, they're small enough. I think I can just freehand them. They will be fine. And we're just going to do some of this stuff back here. Try not to make a mess. Where it's like, they're like almost straight lines, but not quite. I'm just going to use this long, very open curve on the French curve so that it's like there's a little bit of a curve to it, but not a lot of one. Okay, there's a few more of those little spots where I feel like I can just like connect some of these lines and don't necessarily have to use a tool because I'm just bridging some very small gaps. So like where I was just working over here, I just noticed like these, I don't need to use a tool for that. Stuff like that. We're going to do some of these little lines, some of these little buttons, that sort of thing. Where did your interest in drawing comics come from? It was very organic. I always liked to draw, and I always liked to tell stories. And so as a kid, I would write and illustrate my own stories all the time. Even before I actually knew how to write, I would just be like writing scribbles and say, oh, well, it says this. And that's like how my mom would keep me out of her hair sometimes. She would like staple some pieces of construction paper together and be like, go write a book. And I'd be like, okay, I will. Again, I couldn't even write yet, but I was like, I'm going to write a book. And then at some point I realized, oh, comics are like a thing. Like you can do words and pictures together. And I was just like, yeah, I think that's what I want to do. And I did it like I made tons of comics just for myself and showed them to friends and that sort of thing. And of course they were mostly like not good at all, but you know, whenever you're just kind of starting out doing stuff like that, it tends to just not be very good. That's fine. But yeah, that's just I liked to write and tell stories and I liked to draw and it was like, well, I'm going to do both. I refuse to make a decision about doing one or the other. I'm going to do both. I'm going to connect all these little lines. I'm going to make those little rivets. What is this? This looks like I meant it to be like one of those covers they put over a cigarette lighter. We're going to say that's what it is because I don't remember what that was supposed to be. That's what it is now. I should also mention that part of the journey, which made me decide that, like, not only did I want to make comics, but comics was going to be like the thing I was going to do, was that I was very generously given like a summer internship at my aunt's work, and she worked at an insurance company in the legal department. And so I spent the summer between my junior and senior year of high school, you know, the one where you're usually trying to figure out what am I going to try to do to apply, what am I going to do for applying for college, and what do I want to do with like the rest of my life. And so I worked in a legal office at a big insurance company that whole summer, and I hated every blasted moment of it. I was like, I cannot have this be my life. this cannot be my life. I can't do this. I'm going to go be an artist. I probably would have been much better off if I had stayed in like insurance and legal stuff, but oh well. Hey Jason, yes, I have my new headset came in today. I didn't get a chance to like I literally like just pulled it out of the box this afternoon and charged it up and hit go live. So I didn't get a chance to like mess with any of the levels or anything. So I might have some fine tuning to do, but I'm glad that it's sounding good. I'm glad that it's A, working at all, and B, sounding good. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and move on down to this one. Oh, I guess we gotta work on more of these. It's a little poppy. Okay, yeah, I gotta make some adjustments. But when I went to install it, the like control panel for it, the company's driver website was down for maintenance. So I'm like, okay, I guess I'll come back later. I guess for now I'll just deal with whatever the plug and play settings are. There's one thing I'm sure at this point in life, it's that we should never force ourselves to work jobs where we aren't happy. Yeah, exactly. Life is too short to go to work for a very large amount of it and be miserable the whole time. All the little lines making the wire mesh for the back of the police car. Okay, there's not a lot left in this panel that needs to be done. I will need to do the other direction of the wires, but I think that's just about it on this one for the pen and technical inking stuff. All right, cool. Yeah, that's most of what's in this one. All right. So we've got a little bit left to do on this car here. Now that I'm doing this Dungeon 23 thing, I have a massive appreciation of your ability to draw straight lines freehand. I mean, I can draw very short straight lines freehand. And even then, I think I'm just really good at making them convincing you that they're straight. They're not really. All right, I got to do those tires. I don't wanna. They're too small. I don't have an ellipse template small enough, and I got to try to do them without messing them up. Ugh. All right, let's do the handle. Just gonna take it one little section at a time. I'm not gonna try to do like an entire ellipse in one go. We're gonna do a little bit here, and then we're gonna do a little bit here. Because if I try to do the whole thing in one go, I will certainly end up with something extremely wonky. But if I do like a little bit here and a little bit there, and then just kind of connect the gaps, then I can kind of cheat my way through it. There we go. That's a little wonky. It's a little bit wonky. Not too bad. All right. Yep. The side of the car totally says sheriff. That bunch of squiggles. Totally says sheriff, you guys. Fill that in black. That's going to be black. That's going to be black. Gonna do a couple of little lines here for the windshield. I'm just going to fill that in with my pen because it's not very big. Okay. Theoretically, all those weird little lines and X's will actually look like glass once I fill them in with ink the rest of the way. The base of this other light post in here. The end is in sight on all of this technical inking stuff. We're getting there. No, it doesn't feel like it. It certainly doesn't feel like it to me, but I can recognize that we're almost there by looking at it. It just feels like it's taking forever, because it does. Get a little more ink. I think I'm doing this. Is this the wrong direction? No, this is the right direction. Second guessing myself here. Because this is the one that I have going over top the other ones. I try to keep things like that consistent. Okay, I've got to get some of these little curves down at the bottom of this panel here. We've got that good cup holder. And a coffee cup. And I'm going to flip this around way so I can see what I'm doing better. Just going to connect a couple of those lines. We'll do the other side on the next pass. These lines I can connect though. Okay. Looks good. Oh, there's like a line in here. Boop, boop. And so now, as long as I get the second set of lines to like cross right under where I drew those little bumps, then it looks very 3D and realistic. That officer has his phone out while driving. Tisk, tisk. Jason, I don't know if you've ever seen any sort of law enforcement officer in their vehicle. They frequently have several devices out they're messing around with whilst driving. But I mean, at least in the story, he has a good reason. He's calling Roxy, his daughter, because he's concerned that what he just heard over the radio involves her. So he's calling to make sure that she is safe. All right, we'll make sure all these little lines on the that big chunky phone case are connected. There we go. Okay. Is there anything else that needs to get done in this panel? I just have this line here. Okay. And that panel is pretty much done with this stuff. Reminds me of Doug's phone case. It's just the big chunky man case. My manly man case. I could drop this out of an airplane. Yeah, but like, are you gonna? No, but I could. How do you decide what to ink and what not to ink? Like in general, or like each time I do one of these passes where I'm trying to jump around? I need a more specific question. I'm not sure what I'm responding to. Each pass. How do you remember what you have done already? You move around so much. Yeah, so that's the part of why I jump around so much is that I do every time I am moving very methodically every time, even though it does not necessarily appear like it from the outside. And that's why is to stop myself from smearing ink. So each pass I'm basically like picking a direction that I'll be approaching it from. And then I move across the page in the direction where the tool will be moving out of the way. Like the tool will be moving past where I'm working instead of back toward it. So I started in this corner, I'm moving across this way, and I'm going to make sure that everywhere that I go on this pass is somewhere where I won't be pivoting the tool back over where I just was. And so like that's why, so like on this pass, I'm planning on doing this like line of the wires, the sides of this coffee cup, and then probably some of this stuff down here that has a straight edge where it's all going in roughly the same direction, and I can just kind of slowly arc it across without ever going back or changing the direction so much that I have to run the tool through where I just inked. And that's why I always start back up in this corner, work my way across and down, and then I'll do the same thing on the other panels of like, okay, what have I not done yet? And what can I like, where can I start and kind of move my way across so that by the time I get down to the bottom corner of the page, everything up here is dry. Like everything back up in this panel is dry and I can go back over and start again for the next pass. So it does look really random, but there is actually a plan every time I start one of these passes. Not that it always 100% works out, but that's what I'm doing. Is I'm trying to ink efficiently and methodically so that I can get as much done on each pass as possible while not causing a mess. There is a method. Yeah, it's kind of opaque. If you aren't aware of what I'm doing, it's kind of like, oh, she's just jumping all over the place. What is this? Okay, I'll get some of those connected. The little wheel thingy for changing the fan direction in there. What else do I want to put in here? Do that. All right, this one I have to do the other line of wires, and then this one will be done. We're getting closer. It's encouraging. This stage of the process is pretty satisfying in a lot of ways, but it also just gets kind of tedious. It's not really as much fun as just getting to ink freehand. I don't think so anyway. Whoop. All it parallel lines. Is that it? I think that's it. Aha! Look at that. Look at all those lines. I can hear Jeremy cursing me out already. Yes, I do use traditional India ink. Let me see if I have a bottle that's not open currently so I can show you. I do. Let me dig that out. So this is this is obviously a used bottle. So this is the Royal Talons India ink. I use two different types of India ink, pretty much exclusively. The Royal Talons I use when I'm using my nib pen. It flows a little bit better for pens. It's not quite as viscous as the stuff I use with the brush, but it's still nice and dark, actually black. I have such a it's such a pet peeve of mine when it's like, oh, this is totally India ink, and then you go to use it and it's like brown or purple or something. It's not like black. Um, so yeah, I use this one for the pens because it flows really nicely. And then I use the Winsor & Newton Black Indian ink for the brush. This one is also super black and really, this one's a little bit more thick. So this one goes on a lot nicer with the brush, but it's a little bit on the gummy side if you're using a pen. It tends to clog up the pens a little bit, doesn't flow quite as nicely. So that's what I've kind of settled on after many years of experimenting. I had been using just the Winsor & Newton for the longest time, but I got that Royal Talons in like one of those art supply subscription boxes a few years ago, and I tried it with the pen and I was like, "Oh wow, this actually flows way better through the pen." but it's really difficult to find. The only place that I've been able to consistently find it to resupply is on the same website that I got the art subscription box from. Like, I don't know why. It's just impossible to find in retail, like, anywhere else. It is very bizarre. Which would explain why I had not run across it previously, I guess. There's a new question. It says, I guess you find something that works and you just sort of stick to it. Yeah, I mean, especially when you're talking about like producing comic pages, every once in a while you get this idea of like, I'm gonna experiment, and then you're like, oh no, wait, that comic page needs to be done tomorrow. I don't have time to experiment. So sometimes when I'm like working on something else or just kind of experimenting for the sake of experimenting, then things will end up getting incorporated into the process. But for the most part, it's like this process works. And also I need consistent results. So that's what I'm gonna do. Wee. Car's doing a big whoop boom. Let's see. Oh my goodness, it's already 8:47. How am I still not done inking this page? Holy cow. All these little fiddly bits taking forever. All right, now that panel is done as far as this inking goes. And this panel is done as far as this inking goes. So that's good. There's not an awful lot of this left, but we're also almost out of time. I'm not really sure if we have enough left for one more stream on this page. I don't feel like we do. I don't feel like the figure work that's left on here would take an entire hour. So I'll see how I feel. Oh, that's getting very I've got a little puddle of ink going on the edge of my triangle. That's very dangerous. Check that out. Living dangerously. Let's clean that off before I have a disaster. I'm gonna do one of those like so satisfying videos. I'm gonna go boop and have it just kind of seep onto the paper towel. There we go. Took me 200 minutes to draw a box and some lines inside that box, almost all of which were straight. Yeah, stuff can take a lot longer than you think. So I don't think it's going to take me another full hour to finish what's left on this page. So I will probably do like I did to finish penciling it, where I'll just do, I'll just like film it and put it up as like a TikTok and an Instagram reel, so that people can still see it get finished if they want, but like in time lapse, but not do a whole other regular stream, because I don't think it would take up the whole other regular stream. Does that qualify as art ASMR? No, that's when I'm like hatching and it's like scritch, 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 scritch. That's the ASMR part. Okay, come on. We're almost done with the stream. Just cooperate. Can you cooperate? There we go. Okay. Finish connecting those lines. Is that everything in this panel? Oh, we've got I'm just going to freehand this. Whoop. The back of the chair there. Okay. Hey, it's pretty much just this top panel that's not entirely done with this type of inking yet. Well, that's good. Made some good progress this evening. We're in the last 10 or so minutes of the stream, so I'm gonna do the YouTube and self-promotion things while I get a little bit more done here before we call it for the evening. Reminder, I'm Amanda Call. You're watching my YouTube channel, in case you are not sure where you are. This comic page that I'm working on is from the comic I Am the First, which is written by my friend Jeremy Flagg and drawn by me. It is a superhero coming-of-age origin story. This is as much about being gay in a small town as it is about learning you have superpowers. We have the first 3 issues out at this point, and it's going to be 5 issues altogether, and then it's going to be released as a graphic novel. We are definitely behind schedule, which is not the position any of us wanted to be in, but here we are. Yeah, just life. We're behind schedule because life, but trying to Jeremy and I have been talking and meeting and trying to figure out like what our new production schedule is to kind of like, obviously we're not going to get back on track, so to speak, but just to like have a track again so that we can tell people, oh yes, you should actually be able to expect the next one at such and such date, instead of just kind of, disappearing. Behind schedule is the new on schedule. I don't like living like this. It makes me very upset. I'm very disappointed that it got this way, and I'm just trying to not be too hard on myself, because I know that stuff happens, especially when your team is literally 2 people. And so it doesn't take much for 2 people to end up getting thrown way off, because it's like, there's no one to like pass stuff off to. It's no one else can draw this for me. Like, if something comes up for me, no one's drawing it. And if something comes up for Jeremy, no one's flatting, which means that I can't start coloring. I mean, I can flat, but that just also slows me way down if I have to spend time flatting and not drawing or inking or doing the final color renders. Like, that's just the thing. It's like you don't have other people that you can be like, hey, I've got a lot going on this week. Can you help pick up the slack for me? It's like, no, you just have us. That's it. So it produces some logistical challenges when you got life going on. But anyway, information about that can be found at bravenewcomics.com. We will have a new schedule up soon. I also am frequently working on my comic, Age of Night, here on the stream. So if you want to watch me do that as well, you should definitely, be subscribed and all that good stuff. You can find my comic at ageofnight.com, and that updates just about every week on Wednesdays. And you can read the whole thing online for free, which is pretty cool. I have a Patreon if you want to help support me making comics. You are by no means obligated to, but it's pretty cool if you decide to. You get to see more behind the scenes comic making stuff, and you get all your Age of Night pages a week early. It's a cool deal. Sometimes you get free comics for signing up, but then you also get other free comics sometimes, just sometimes, just cause, which is also pretty cool. And if you want to follow me on other platforms besides YouTube, I have an Instagram and a TikTok at Amanda Call Art. I have a Twitter for as long as Twitter continues to exist at Age of Night. What was I going to do next in here? I think I'm going to come back over here and work on this little part. I think that was all the things. All right. Okay, so that is going to do it for this evening's stream. We got most of what is this on schedule you speak of? It sounds made up to me. Yeah, sounds fake to be honest. Like, yes, exactly. Exactly. So yeah, we got a lot accomplished on this stream. I have the all of the pen and ink stuff almost completely done. I'll probably finish the figures in brush off stream and then just upload them on one of my or a couple of my other social media handles. So keep an eye out on that. I think I'm allowed to actually use like the community posts thing now on YouTube. So I'll I'll put one of those on too. So, and let you know if I decide to do that. So, all right, thanks everybody. I will see you next time. Bye.